Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tashana. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are not, welcome back.
You know it's top everything, you know it's king already, you know it's my body, so got a king body, body gon' shine, bling bling body, calling all the shots, ring body.
So I'm going to be talking about today why people always come back, whether it's exes, whether it's friends that you've cut off, whether it's family members that you have cut off, whether it is co-workers that you knew in the past, just why it is that they always seek you out. Nowadays people aren't so hard to find because of social media, but I feel like still a lot of persons go the extra mile to like seek out and search to find certain people, and I'm going to be talking about 10 reasons why they always come back, okay? And also I know a lot of persons in situations when friendships and family relationships, spousal relationships are ending. If you're a good person, it's natural for you to think like, oh, maybe I was a part of the problem. Well, we all share some responsibility, but I feel like good people always take on more of the responsibility in the relationship. You find yourself wondering like, could I have done anything better? Like, what did I do? Maybe it was me. Today's video is some reassurance that it's not you, it's them. And this is something I've always known. And that's why in all my videos, I always ask, even though I know the reason, I always ask, if you don't like me, if I am an issue, why do you keep coming back? Why? And I'm going to be talking about 10 reasons why those people always come back. All right, so reason number 1, and this word I use a lot, and it's very plain and straight. They're narcissists. I used to feel like, okay, it was all about me. I used to think it was like, okay, they can't get over me and I'm all that, and the immature stuff that you think when you're like younger, like, oh, so I have the glamity is what some Jamaican people would say when it's like relationship wise, like your exes keep coming back and stuff like that. Well, after a while I realized that it's more so about them than you, and it's not anything to even boast about. It's not anything to feel proud about, because really and truly them take you for fool. They take you for an idiot. And why are you always available for them to come back to you? Why are you always available? And I had to like question myself about certain things and things like that, and then I realized like, yeah, why is the door always open for them? That's the real question. You were giving to them what they needed. You were just like a supply of everything that they needed. And then when you're drained and they suck you dry, because they're like suck stones, parasites, when they get to that point and you're at the place where you're like very low, they leave. You know, because they needed you. You didn't really need them. They weren't giving anything to you. So when when they leave, you're going to start flourishing because the parasite is gone, right? You're going to start flourishing. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better and everything. You're going to find yourself again. They're now going to go out into the world and try to find that same supply again. And chances are they won't, because if you met young, you're more susceptible to that. By the time they left you, they spent like 4 years in a relationship. They have been like 25. People are wiser, smarter. So unless they get with somebody that's super young, they're not going to really be able to meet somebody like you again, because people are older and wiser. So then they come back to you just on the basis of you were a supply for that. And number 2 is they get lonely. They get lonely. So adulthood, like I said, you would have met the person, chances are, because a lot of people experience certain relationships while they're young. When you're older, like if you keep finding yourself in the same pattern of relationships and you're like 30 years old, like 28, 29, something wrong with you. and you really need to like assess yourself. But usually you experience those type of relationship in your younger years, and as you grow older, you get wiser, you start knowing the patterns and things that you should look out for. In adulthood, it's a lot harder to find friendships overall, and it's a lot harder to find like dumb, stupid people. Most people get their shit together by a certain age, so they're not able to go out into the world and just pick somebody and go be with them. And they're not able to just take somebody for an idiot, continue the same pattern of behavior, and people just run and be like, oh, okay, you're nice, blah, blah, I'll be with you. So they get lonely, and then they come. Number 3 is they're confused. They were with you and they don't know what they want. They don't know that they want to commit. They don't know that they just want to have flings. They don't know what they want. They're just a confused bunch. And while they're with you, they like the idea of a relationship and they like the idea of you, but they don't know, they're not mature enough to do what they need to do to have a sustainable relationship with you. Those people, when they come back to you, just close the door. Like I said, why is the door open? For certain people, the door should be open. Move on with your life, do what you need to do, and continue with your life. The same pattern, whatever reason you left the person for, is going to continue. They haven't really changed. They'll say they'll change you. I used to be in situations where people would come back, they would cry, like big man cry, like crying, begging on their knees, saying that they changed, saying that they will do anything for you. For the first couple months, they do that, and then same pattern of behavior once they get comfortable in the relationship again. So you left them for a reason. That reason is still there. So you do yourself a favor by just continuing with your life. Move on, go about your business. Number 4 was they were searching for, sometimes people in a relationship, and you know the 80-20. You're in a relationship and this person has 80% of what you want. Nobody's perfect, so there's 20% of what you don't have that they think they need. Say you cook, you clean, you take care of the kids, you do everything, but you're not the person that will, say you're not the person that will go out and get the grocery, and they don't really like going to the supermarket, and they want somebody that is able to go get the grocery, and that in their eyes is like a huge deal, which that is just 20% of the relationship and 80% of what they desire you have. But they don't see it like that. People are in a relationship, when you're in a situation, you don't really see the bigger picture, you just see what you don't have most of the times. And that's why it's important for you to have a gratitude journal and just like sit down, write down what are the things that you're grateful for, and focus on the things that you do have, so you don't spend so much time focusing on what you don't have. So yeah, they were searching for that 20% and they didn't find it, or if they found it, they realized that 80% of the things that you had, the other person doesn't have. The person just wants to go grocery shopping. They like grocery shopping because they like walk around and people watch and pick, but they're not going to cook, they're not going to clean, and they're not going to take care of the children, and they end up having to do all this other stuff, and then they say, damn, I had the world and I didn't realize I had the world, so they come back. Do you want to have somebody that didn't know what they had in the first place come back into your life? No. If you didn't see what you have in the beginning, do not come back. If friendships, whatever, I'm not even talking about just relationships, I'm talking about friendships, family relationships, all of it, because they all come back, okay? So if they didn't see what they had, same thing with family, maybe you're the family member that they can't really come tell foolishness to and you agree with them, but they have this other person out there that if they tell them jackass fat, the person going to say yes, jackass fat, and they want that, and that's what they want, and so they disrespect you, go out into the world trying to have that person and run around with that person, and then they realize, oh, but this person don't have any common sense, and this person's a yes person, and at least my family member would have told me straight up, like, this is not okay. And everything that they want to do, the person is just like, yes, 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 yes. And then they realize their life go downhill because this person is just around them, watching them do all the manner of evil and not saying anything. So they come back because they realize you were a real one and they're not going to find anybody like you. So they come back. All right, so that's number 4. The search was futile. So number 5, and this is a genuine one. This is a genuine one, and this one make it get a little bit soft. They simply, plain and straight, realize you were the best thing that ever happened to them. They simply realize that they'll never find anybody like you, and you are a godsend. This one will make you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for them, make them come back. But at the end of the day, do you want somebody in your life that didn't realize what they had when they had you? Were you blind? You're blind? And if you didn't see it in me at the beginning, that means we're not supposed to be a part of each other's lives. That's how I see it. Because there are times when I go around people and I conceal my actual personality, and I just move and watch first and observe. And when people think you're like soft and you don't really talk and you don't know anything and you're just like a dumb person, they take you for an idiot. They take you for an idiot and then they disrespect you. Do you want somebody in your life that treats people that can't do anything for them, that treats people that they think are dumb and stupid just because they don't talk, just because they're not like outgoing at the time? Do you want those people in your life? Do you want those type of people around you? For me, once you don't value me regardless, it means that we're not on the same vibration. It means that our spirits don't align, regardless of if I'm showing my true self or not. It means that our souls don't connect, and I don't want you to be a part of my life. So once you don't see it, just continue not seeing and go about your business. That's how I see it. So that's number 5. They realize that you were the best thing that ever happened to them and they will never find anybody like you. And then this is number 6. This is more on a deeper level, and it is they realize after a while that you were the only person that really saw them. And by that I mean you were the only person that really looked beyond whether they had anything, whether they didn't have anything. You were the only person that saw them for them. You were the only person that was looking at their soul instead of what they had and what they didn't have. And they took that for granted. Again, even if it's a genuine reason, once you leave, I don't want you to come back. Once upon a time, I used to be like, oh, they came back, and I used to feel like some sort of like power or some type of like, oh, I'm special because they came back. But at this point, it's just like, if you leave, don't come back. I don't want you to come back, because like I said, it means that our souls aren't connected, and it means that we're not on the same vibration, and we're not meant to be in each other's lives. There are people that you meet for a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, whatever it is, and you're just supposed to be that and leave. You took what you needed to take from them, they took what they needed to take from you, and that's it. They go about their business and be gone. Don't come back. This is a genuine reason, but like still, if you didn't see it at the beginning, like I don't want you to see it again. Like, you're lost. Bye. Number 7 is the one I mentioned it a little bit before. It's because they take you for an idiot when there are other people, when they go out into the world and they see that there's nobody else that gives them the validation that they needed or whatever they needed, they come back. Because like you're easy, like they already have you. Like I said, it's easier for them to go back to what they had before and had access to than to try and work on something new. And they come back because they think you're an idiot and they think the door is gonna always be open for them, so they try to come back. And last but not least is they run out of options. So this is different from they can't find anybody or it's hard to find anybody. They went, they moved on, they found a couple. They probably had like 3-4 relationships in between the time span of you not talking. So whether it was 2 years, 3 years, they probably had like 5 relationships within that time, because them quick, they move on. And then nobody else was willing to continue with their bullshit, with their BS. Okay, nobody else was willing to accept them, and they ran out of options. They tried and they failed, and they realized, well, nobody else wants me, and then they come back to you because you're safe. You're the option that was already there, and you're a safe bet to try and go back to you. That's it. That's 10 reasons why people always come back, and it's not you, it's them. Definitely something wrong with them. You can move on and be in a successful relationship and be okay. You're gonna thrive, like I said, because usually they're parasites, suck stones, and you're gonna move on, thrive, and they're gonna see that you're not suffering or nothing's happening to you, that without them you're able to still move on and live and be happy. And then they realize, oh my God, she moved on, he moved on, and then try to come back. It's up to you to make sure that you keep those type of negative, toxic energies away from you. It's very easy for you to even try to let them back in, because it's like it's familiar. People like what's familiar. Like, you're going to see it and think like, oh, maybe I could just let them back in. We did have some good times, and maybe we can rekindle that. But what about the bad times? The person is still the same, and chances are they're just pretending until they get back into your good place, and then they're going to continue with the same thing. Like I said, I've had people on their knees begging, bawling, big men that I never thought would get to that point. Family members, the same thing. People that I felt like when I leave, they would just go and they'd be good. They always come back. I don't know why they come back. Like the 10 reasons why they come back, it's not always about you. Sometimes you let your ego, because they know this part of the game too. Sometimes your ego will allow you to let them back in, because you're thinking to yourself, well, I must be something special. Like I said, being honest, sometimes people think that way, and then you let them back in, and then they drain you again. So you want to make sure that those type of toxic people, once they go, you let them go about their business, and you move on to better, bigger and better things. All right, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.